Well, Rod, here we are, right on the log slip of the Sweeney Cooperage Limited. Now, this particular log is a typical cooperage log. BC hard fir, we call it, but otherwise Douglas fir. Now, these logs are towed in from Fraser River, from Vancouver Island, and many other parts of our beautiful evergreen country of British Columbia. Years ago, my father and I saw them up by hand in a spot where the Empress Hotel now stands. It was on a beach. Now, Rod, this particular log will make approximately 90 good barrels. They are loaded out to places pretty well all over the world. Now, Rod, if you would like to see these transformed into barrels, just follow me. Those markings indicate the manner in which the short blocks are cut into pie-shaped bowls. They are split in this manner so as to make straight grain staves. Yeah, well, here's where we split the big blocks into pie-shaped bolts. And we split them with a steam hammer and a wedge. And that is because we want to follow the grain so that they're tight, straight grain staves when we produce them and they won't break. That hammer is operated by hydraulic steam, and the wedge is used for splitting in order to split and produce straight grain staves. From here, the entire block, after it's being split, is carried by a live chain along to the boulder. Now we come to the bolting saw, and this is used for sawing the pie-shaped bolts into flitches about 4 or 5 inches wide. And from there, they are taken to the stave saw, sawed into staves. Come to the stave saw. Now, this is the cylinder with teeth on the edge, and it saws the flitches into staves, edge grain staves. Now, this is a very fast operating saw, and the stave drops down inside the cylinder and is hooked out by a hook that's in the inside of the cylinder. This is the stave planer, where all staves are planed on the inside, so that when the barrel is made, it's nice and smooth. This is the tail end of the stave planer, and the staves are being loosely stacked and passed along to the joiner. Now, these are the stave joiners. Each wheel has 8 knives, and the edges of the stave are planed perfectly smooth and given the taper and the bilge, which gives the bilge or the belly to the barrel. Yes, this is the stave setting up department, and these staves are set up so many to the barrel in order to give it the proper build, or sometimes called the belly of the barrel.
What's the steam for, Mr. Sweeney?
Well, the steam softens up the timber and makes them bend readily. And once they are bent, they stay bent. Now, we've got an original idea here whereby we bend them green and we dry kill them after. This bender is a windlass with a cable, and it works automatically, and it's used for the bending of the staves in the barrel shape. This is the manner in which the dry kill trucks are loaded. And they go to the dry kill in a very fast space of time, and they're thoroughly dried so that they will not shrink when they're made up into a barrel. This is the heading room we call the head finishing room, where we make heads or otherwise tops and bottoms of the barrels. Now, first of all, we have the square boards come in here in the rough after they come through the kill dry. Then they go to the jointer, where the edges are jointed perfectly so that when they go together, they won't leak. Now, this is the head finishing room, and this is the final operation where they turn the squares into circles. Planer, it makes a little noise, as you'll notice, and it smooths off the outside part of the head. Now, this is the dry end of the kiln. The staves and the kiln trucks have passed through. The staves are thoroughly dried, and they're ready to be bundled for shipment. Now, the shooks are knocked down. The defects, if any, are removed. They are properly measured so that each bundle represents enough timber for one barrel. Then we're ready to send them all over the world.
Why don't the people in other parts of the world make their own barrels?
That's a fair question, Rod, and a good one. But, you know, we've got the know-how. We have been making barrels for a long time, and we tried to study the situation. So, that first of all, we are blessed with good, hard fir timber. Timber that's grown in the evergreen country, this beautiful evergreen of ours. It is light in weight. It is non-porous. It is non-shrinkable. It is clean and wholesome. There is no tannic acid or any other objectionable taste that will interfere with the packaging of the most sensitive foods or drinks that are ever made. Well, Rod, my boy, that just about finishes the mill operation so far as staves are concerned. What do you think of it?
I think it's pretty good, but why do they take the barrel and make it and then break it down to all its parts again?
Well, that's a good question. In order to bend them properly, we set them up. But we couldn't set them up and send them to very long distances in the made-up form because the freight is entirely too much. Therefore, we bundle them in bundles of about 20 to the bundle, and each bundle is enough for one barrel. Then they are shipped out to various parts wherever there is an assembly plant and where they require barrels. It might be Hong Kong, it might be Australia, it could be London, Ontario, or Waterloo, or Portland, or Seattle, and many other places like that. And by the way, Ron, when you've seen the mill and the assembly plant, You've just about seen the most diversified and probably the largest barrel-making operation in the British Empire, because we have the mill and we have the assembly plant. And in Vancouver, we sell a few barrels, too, for various products, pickled fish and pickles and various other things. So what do you say if we go into the assembly plant and see how they assemble barrels? Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Let's go.
Oh, this is where we start all over again.
Yes, I guess we do. We start the assembling here. These staves are delivered to this assembly plant in Vancouver, the same as to Seattle, Portland, Ontario, or any other part of the world.
Looks like we're going to steam them again, doesn't it?
No, Rod. We don't steam them again because it's not necessary, but we do heat them a little and soften them up so that they go together properly, and also to take off any surface moisture that they may have accumulated. Well, Rod, my boy, what do you think of that?
Sure made mincemeat out of that log.
Mincemeat, eh? Well, there she is. There's the log that you saw a little while ago. This is a standard 45-gallon barrel, which is used all over the world for very many purposes. That's a half barrel, about 30 gallons, used largely for pickled meat and fish. That's 3 gallons, 5 gallons. Here we have pails. Here we have a slack barrel for packing crockery or glassware, or powdered milk and products like that. We call that a slack barrel. Then we also have a byproduct, because all of these, that log won't cut up all long enough for the proper kind of tight barrels. So we make some of these little pails. Now those are used for many purposes. Ladies sometimes use them for a carry-all, or for a nice little potted plant or something, so that we use as much of the log as we can. And then we come back to this little fella here. Now, this little barrel here is just about your size. Now, that barrel, that's a barrel bank. And I hope you always have barrels of money, and I hope also that you have barrels of fun. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much for this bank, and thank you very much for the trip through your factory.
You're quite welcome, I assure you. Come again and look it over again, will you?
Sure.
Good. Okay.